So you may have heard that you're going to have to do a cruise check-in, and you're probably wondering exactly what that is. It is basically an online check-in process in which you will be entering in your personal information for your cruise line, uploading your travel documents, and this process just helps to expedite some of the things that are going to happen on your embarkation day. So prepare early. Go ahead and I would say do it now if you haven't already. Go ahead and download your cruise line's app. This is a place of invaluable information from the get-go. You're going to be able to do your check-in like I'm going to show you how to do today, but also you can look on board your ship for all types of information, for excursions, for dining options. It'll give you a cruise countdown, which is always fun to watch. So stick around with me, and I'm going to show you exactly how this process is and to make it smooth as possible for you. All cruise lines apps will look a little different, clearly because they're just different brands. However, the process is virtually the same. They may have a few different little things that you have to add or things that some lines don't request or require. However, today I'm going to be doing our Norwegian cruise check-in just to kind of give you a general idea of how most of them are going to be set up. Once you download your app and once you put in your booking number, it will become especially tailored to your individual cruise. Not just a general cruise information, but your cruise. So on the app or on Manage Booking online, if you're choosing to go that route, you will be told exactly the date that your cruise check-in will become available. Not to say that you have to do it on that exact date, but I always recommend doing it as early as you can, because the earlier you check in, the earlier your boarding time selection could be. Yes, we are those weird people that if our check-in becomes available at midnight, we are setting our alarm and we are getting up, if not staying up, to do our check-in early so that we can be on board as early as possible. Carnival, for example, opens up about 14 days prior to your sail date. Norwegian opens up around 21 days, and I believe Royal opens up as early as 45 days before your sail date. So just be sure to check exactly what date it is that your cruise line offers the opening for the check-in process. And if I were you, I would set an alarm on my phone. I would also put a calendar note in your phone as well, just to remind you so this date doesn't slip by. So the date has finally come, and for some reason it's like a benchmark process for us. We always get excited and we count down not only to our cruise sail date, but also our check-in date, just because it makes things seem a little bit more real, and it makes us realize how quickly the actual trip is going to come on. So the evening of your check-in, you should have a few things gathered beforehand just to make the process a little easier. One of which is going to be your credit or debit card for setting up your onboard spending account, which I'm going to do a later video on. How you spend money and how you pay for things on board the ship is going to be different than what you may expect. The second thing is to have any of your travel documents ready, your passport or your birth certificate and ID. The cruise lines have to submit this information to the local governments just to have everything kind of squared away prior to the sail date. The other thing to remember is some lines, Norwegian being included in that, require you to upload a selfie to the check-in process. Carnival does not. I'm not sure about the other lines. However, I do know that Norwegian does. And because we are checking in late, usually I'm in my pajamas, which is fine because the only reason they use this photo is for facial recognition, just to make the boarding and offloading a little easier and a little quicker for you. So just be prepared. I don't know if you want your hair and makeup done and fancy clothes on, or if you're like me and pajamas is just fine. But just be aware that some cruise lines make you take that picture. So one of the first things that you're going to see on the check-in is going to be that you need to confirm your personal information. This will be things like your name, your birthday, your address. Just be very cautious and entering in this information. Make sure that you check your spellings. Make sure you're not fat fingering anything. Make sure that your address is the address that matches your ID. Just be real cautious when you enter this, because it is imperative that everything matches up perfectly. One of the second things that Norwegian asks you to put in is your emergency contacts information. This person needs to be someone that is not traveling with you. They should be back at home, stateside, wherever, but not on the cruise ship. So do not put your travel partner, your husband, significant other, who it may be. Make sure it's someone that is back home that the cruise line can contact if something were to happen to you. On NCL, they have you watch a travel safety video. Typically takes just a few minutes. It covers things, the basics such as emergencies at sea, your life jacket application and whatnot. You will have to readdress some of these things on board the day of your sailing. However, they kind of get a head start in making sure you've previewed some of this stuff, and they make you acknowledge that you've watched this. So here's the fun part, and that is selecting your boarding time. We're like kids, like I told you earlier, we stay up till midnight to be able to select the earliest boarding time we possibly can get, because that means we are on board the ship and our vacation can start and we can start exploring the ship and doing all the things that we like to do on cruises. Boarding times, typically the window opens from usually 10:30 and they close around 2:30. And it's 30-minute windows. And when you select your time, that is the ideal time that you're supposed to arrive. And this is just simply to cut down on the traffic at the port, to speed up the process so that everyone's not coming in at the exact same time. Just be aware, if your ship leaves at 4, let's say the ship is departing at 4, you will not be able to board at 3:30. They will typically tell you the time is usually about 90 minutes prior to sailing. So for example, if you leave at 4, you would have to be on board by 2:30. On the flip side of that coin, let's say you select your time from 10:30 to 11 as your boarding time. However, you've encountered something that has prevented you from arriving at that time. You can still board later than your window, but you cannot board later than the final boarding window. The ship will leave without you, and I would hate for your vacation to end before it ever starts. Just be aware that whatever time you pick, if you arrive early, your rooms will still not be ready until roughly around 1:30. So in our case, we are usually on board 10:30, 11 o'clock. So that means we are unable to access our room until, like I said, the 1:30 time. So that means that you are kind of wandering around the boat, which there's plenty to do. There's food availability, there's fun and games, there's things going on everywhere you can look. But the floors that have the rooms will be blocked off. That means everyone on board this cruise ship are going to be centered on, let's just say your ship has 13 floors. I'm sorry, not 13. Ships don't have 13 floors. Let's say your ship has 15 floors. There may only be 6 of those floors available for people to be hanging out on. So when you board your first day, to me that is the most stressful time. However, it does not deter me from cruising, because I know it's just a short-lived thing. But during that time, you're going to find there is a lot of congestion everywhere you go. So I'm always mindful of the amount of carry-ons that I have, because I don't want to be dealing with a bunch of bags, a bunch of people, and limited space. So just kind of pick your time based on what you can handle. If you don't like crowds and you don't like congestion, you may want to consider a later boarding time. While this means your cruise doesn't start as early as other people's, it's only a few hours, so it's not that big of a deal. And once 1:30 hits, I promise you, all those crowds will dissipate. All those crowds will want to be going to their room. They're looking to see if their luggage has been delivered. They want to get their room set up. They want to put things down they've been carrying around, because you'll see some people on board these boats carrying in big cases of soda, larger pieces of luggage. I don't want to do that, so mine's usually limited to a backpack. But just don't let it deter you. Don't let your first day on board, the first few hours on board, scare you into thinking that this is what the cruise is going to be like the whole time, because I promise you it won't. The crowds will thin out. One of the final things that you're going to have to decide is how you want to do your onboard spending. If you plan on using a credit or debit card, it will have you put those information pieces in there just so that it will already be set up for you. And again, I'm going to do a video on onboard spending, how it works, and how you can budget and prepare ahead of time for your cruise spending. If you have similar information that's going to pertain to other people in your room, for example, my husband, anything that I put in, such as the emergency contact, things such as the spending account information, I can just click one simple button that will apply those settings to my husband, so that I'm not having to do double duty on this stuff. So you can, one person in your party can do the check-in process, and it will cover everyone. Not every single person has to open up the app to do it. So one of the final screens on your check-in process is going to be a completion screen. When you arrive to this screen, it will allow you access to be able to print your luggage tags and your boarding pass. So once you have that availability, go ahead and print them, put them in a folder, stick them somewhere, don't lose them. These items, especially the boarding pass, will be required to board the day of your ship leaving. The luggage tags, like I said, those are printable. You cut them out, you attach them to your luggage. It will give you options to print multiples of these things. Make sure you attach these tags to every item that you plan on bringing on board, especially if you're planning on leaving them with a porter. And whatever you do, please don't be late to port. The ship will not wait for you. I want you to have the most magical, wonderful experience possible, but you're not going to be able to have it on a cruise if you're not there on time. So just be mindful of all this. I don't say all this to stress you out. I say all this to prepare you. We have taken a handful of cruises. By no means are we travel experts, but little things that we've learned along the way, I'm hoping helps you out. Oh, and one final thought, the most important thing, have a blast on your cruise. You typically will have anywhere from 14 days to 45 days from now, this point of check-in, to the day that you board. I will have other videos that will be coming out in the next few weeks as we prepare to leave on our cruise in March. I'm trying to think of all the little details of the processes and the planning that we do that makes our cruise the biggest success that we can have. So in this period of time, just get yourselves together, get your things packed, look forward to your trip, research things on YouTube. There is a vast array of knowledge on YouTube that we lean on for learning about ports, learning about excursions, learning about our ship. So you have plenty of time to learn all that you can, and in the meantime, have a great day.